Revelation 2887. From the 19th of September 1943. Blessing of Divine Revelations. The blessing of divine revelations will only be recognizable when people have been deprived of everything that was their guide to God. People can still draw the drink they need to strengthen themselves on their earthly path of life. They can still accept the divine word everywhere, yet human will dry up the source for them. People will want to determine which spiritual food their fellow human beings should take, and human will be active in a destructive but not in a constructive way, for what is built up does not correspond to God's will and is therefore to be judged as a work of destruction which only accelerates the spiritual decline and therefore favors chaos. And this process of destruction is already beginning. It is the actual cause of the emergence of this work, it is the occasion of divine revelations which therefore signify a counteraction of God. The individual human being cannot assess the unspeakable adversity of the whole of humanity and how this adversity will increase when the human being's free will is gagged by people who are in the service of the one who fights against God, who seeks to displace him in order to increase his power and strength. It is an unequal battle, for the number of his followers exceeds the number of God's fighters many times over, and therefore God comes to the aid of his followers in an extraordinary way by obviously contacting them, by conveying extraordinary strength to them through his word, which is the outpouring of his love and thus has to have an effect such that the human being can muster the strength to resist, no matter how hard he is pressed. And this divine word, which God himself directs to earth, clearly and vividly expresses God's will. It further imparts knowledge to people which is helpful for them to attain maturity of soul and which comprehensively and clearly reveals to him the meaning and purpose of earthly life, his destiny and God's rule and activity. And this knowledge shall let him endure severity of the struggle because, on the other hand, a feeling of futility of perseverance would cause his resistance to flag. God truly knows what the human being needs in this spiritual adversity, and he therefore prepares everything to provide people with relief and to give them the means to free themselves from the adversary's hold on God. The will turned towards God also makes them receptive for the strength from God, and therefore God seeks to stimulate their human being's will through his word to submit to him. He seeks to win the human being's love through his word in order to be able to let his love radiate upon him, which is again available to the human being as strength. He seeks to strengthen the person's trust and faith in his wisdom and omnipotence so that he can withstand all hostility from the world. And this is why the transmission of the divine word to earth is so extraordinarily significant. And only the coming time will make people who strive towards God become aware of the love with which God cares for his own and the means of grace he uses to let them find their way to himself. Amen.